What up, Raf leaders? Welcome back to my channel. We are back in Peters Hall. I'm here on the pedestrian overpass here at Peters Hall. I've used this pedestrian overpass to show you the bridge because it gives me a vantage point from which to see most of the bridge. But this morning it's foggy. And the reason why I'm back here on the 25th of July is because they're going to close the bridge for the next 2 days, from this evening, from tomorrow evening, from tomorrow afternoon, the 26th. From the 26th to the 28th, they're going to close this road to pedestrians and to vehicles, because I suppose they're going to do some major finishing work to the bridge. And I thought I'd come here before they closed this area to show you the bridge. Now it's important to see that what's happening behind me is that the bridge is lost in a fog of clouds. And that presents challenges that we haven't seen before. So I'm glad I came here today so that I can show you another perspective on the bridge. But let's get closer and take a look at what is happening to the bridge as it reaches its final stage of construction. So let's go. So guys, we're gonna go down and take a closer look at the bridge. Somebody is asking if there are elevators. There is actually a lift for this pedestrian overpass, both ends, but of course, as usual in everything in Guyana, with everything, it doesn't work. Who knows why? Anyway, let's get closer to the bridge so that I can show you what's happening here. What is interesting is that the fog is not really lifting. It's actually becoming denser as you approach 7. It's about 7 a.m. in the morning now. And like I said, the problem with having fog, dealing with fog, especially on a bridge like this, that is about 3 miles, at least 3 miles in length. Right, the bridge is about 3 miles in length, but it doesn't have exits except at either end. And what that means is that if you get into a chain reaction accident, right, you get into a pile up in a fog on the bridge, it would be almost impossible to get off the bridge. In the worst case scenario, there's a fire. Right, if you notice that you can't really see the bridge, it's 7 a.m. It's light, but unless you're very close, you can't really see what's going on. So this presents a challenge because it means you have to plan. Somebody's giving me some warning about what's happening. But look at the pile up there. Alright, that's the traffic here on a Friday morning. That traffic, the traffic that's at the standstill, is heading towards Georgetown. And it's a Friday morning, so Friday morning at 7 a.m. But yes, guys, let's follow that chain of thought. Oh, these fruit guys are out here again. Morning. Morning. What's happening? What's happening, fruit guy? Say hi for the people.
Morning.
So the issue we're raising this morning is the fact that you don't have any exits for 3 miles. Once you get onto the bridge, once you join that roundabout, that traffic circle, at either end, there is no way to turn around. You have to go 3 miles. But here, barely in the fog, you can see the connection has not yet been established. So you can see the gap between the end of the ramp and the high span section has not yet been closed. My guess is the reason why they're closing this road this weekend is so that they can seal these gaps between the various points on the bridge. Morning. They can seal these gaps between the various sections of the bridge. But yes, guys, follow this train of thought I'm advancing. Because the bridge is continuous for 3 miles and there is no exit until you get to the roundabouts at either end. The challenge is if there is an emergency, let's say there's a pileup in the fog, and this is what happens with fog because of reckless driving, people driving beyond their ability to see the distance, see ahead. They can't see that a vehicle may be stopped in their path until it's too late, and then they slam into the rear. You get a rear end collision, and then you get a chain reaction because the drivers behind them also can't see through the fog, and you get a pileup, 50, 60, 70 cars. It's quite common in places like Canada and the US, and that has never happened in Guyana. There was never an incident or accident where there was a multiple vehicle collision involving 50 or 60 or 70 cars or vehicles, trucks. That becomes a possibility now because of combination of circumstances, fog and the improper design of this bridge, so that there's no way for you to get on except at the 2 designated endpoints. And we should not be waiting until some major tragedy happens before we address this. But yes, guys, they're going to close the road this weekend, which is why I'm here today. It's about 2 weeks since the last time we were here, and I guessed that it would take 2 weeks to close this gap. The gap has not yet been closed. It seems as if a gap still exists between the high span section and the ramp section of the bridge. The last time we were looking at the eastern end towards Heroes Highway, we saw that there's still a lot of work to be done to complete the access road. Right, the access road is still far from complete. That's looking east towards Heroes Highway. As you can see, one of the longest ramps of any bridge in the Caribbean, probably even in South America. And this view has become quite popular. Shows you the curve of the bridge. But for the first time, you can see this morning, the top of the bridge is lost in fog. We have not seen the pillars yet. As we go under the bridge, now we're going to go under, come up on the Providence side. That's Providence. This is looking east under the bridge towards the Heroes Highway side. Still a lot of fog in the air at 7 a.m. That's Ramada Hotel. Morning. Here in Providence, people are commenting about landscaping. I guess people here don't really dig landscaping. But here's looking at the bridge from the Providence side. See, the bridge curves away. There's a convex curve on this side, concave on the other side. But again, you can't see the top of the bridge. Usually you can see those pillars. The pillars supporting the high span section, the cables, are all invisible in the deep fog. And like I said, that fog, if it becomes a regular thing, is a hazard for which Guyanese drivers are not prepared to deal. And if that fog limits visibility to the point that it causes accidents, then there's no way to deal with it, no way to deal with accidents, because the design of the bridge does not cater for that kind of emergency so far. And you would think that somebody in the process of designing the bridge would raise the possibility of emergencies and how they are to be dealt with. But so far, I don't see anything in the design that says they're going to be prepared to deal with that kind of emergency. That's the Ramada Hotel and Princess Casino here in Providence. And as you can see, this is the traffic heading into Georgetown, piling up. It's almost a mile long. Now we can actually see a little bit of the bridge, a little bit of the high span section. So there is the high span section, lost in the dense fog. The thing to understand is that this fog happens for a reason, specific reason. It has to do with the humidity and the temperature difference between the river and the land, because the river is going to be colder than the land, cooler than the land, and so the area near the water, near the river, will be cooler and cause the droplets of water, moisture, to condense in the air, and that condensation is what appears to be fog. Now this has happened in previous summers. I think I've seen this last summer. Last summer there were lots of forest fires, well, fires in general, that caused dense cloudiness in the air in the daytime, and would reduce visibility even in the city in Georgetown. However, it's the first time we're seeing this in the context of traffic on a bridge. And the thing is that this is not a one-time event. It will happen again. It probably will happen every summer because of the situation, the location of Georgetown at the mouth of the Demerara River, surrounded by water, the ocean being colder than the land, and that temperature difference causing condensation. But this is an interesting new view that we haven't seen before, and that is that fog could present a challenge. As you can see, I'm actually looking in the direction of the high span section. We're supposed to be seeing the pillars, but there are no pillars to be seen, and that's because of the denseness of the fog here at 7, it's almost 7:05, 7:10 a.m. in the morning. But that's what's happening, guys. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. Like I said, they're going to close this area to traffic and pedestrians over the next weekend, and I thought I'd come out here a bit sooner so that I can show you the progress on the bridge, since it's been almost 2 weeks since the last time we were here. And my regular routine is to come take a look every 2 weeks to give you an update. My expectation is that they are going to use the time this weekend to close these gaps. Right? My guess is that they are going to be closing these gaps between the high span section and the ramp on both sides, and between the two high span sections during this weekend. And my guess is that when we come back on Monday morning, I think they're going to open again on Monday morning, we'll be able to see a continuous bridge. They probably will be able to test it, maybe drive across it over the weekend once they completed that work, and we'll hear about it in the media, and I will definitely bring you an update on Monday or Tuesday next week. But that's what's up, guys. This is what's happening in this neck of the woods. Here we're at Red Road now in Providence. We're at Red Road in Providence, looking at traffic on the East Bank Public Road on a Friday morning in Guyana, and looking at the bridge and the traffic under the bridge. But that's where we are. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. Later!